Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I'm here at the Campari Media Studio at the Toronto International Film Festival. I want to give a huge thank you to Campari for being our sponsor. It allows us to cover all sorts of movies at TIFF, like Nuremberg. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I really want to start with congratulations on the movie. I have seen it. Is it premiere tonight?
It does.
Oh, I've cheated.
There you
and
go.
I'm just going to say, I really appreciate you making this because it's really important that stories like this continually get told to remind people of the atrocities and what really happened in the past. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And also thank you to all of you for being part of it. So I hate doing this, but there's so many people who have not seen footage, don't know anything about it.
Sure.
But what is the film about? How have you been describing it to friends and family?
The film is about a bunch of different things, but it's primarily the story of Dr. Douglas Kelly, who was a psychiatrist at the end of World War II, who was tasked with evaluating the surviving Nazi high command. Many of them had committed suicide, including Adolf Hitler, to see if they could stand trial for the crimes against humanity they had committed. And it's a psychological duel between Kelly, who's played by Rami Malek, and Hermann Goering, who's played by Russell Crowe. At the same time, it's the story of how the trials came to be. Robert Jackson, who was a Supreme Court justice for the United States, argued that the U.S. Army and a lot of the other armies didn't want to put any of the Nazis on trial because they didn't want to establish the precedent of, do you really think you should kill soldiers, execute soldiers for following orders? So Jackson, who's played by the wonderful Michael Shannon, argued that it did have to be done, and then became the chief prosecutor for the United States.
For all three of you, I just want to start with how much of a fan I am of all three of you and how much I enjoy your work. But what was it about this story and this script that said, oh, I really want to be a part of this?
Well, I didn't know anything about it. I had never heard of Robert Jackson, and I feel like one of the perks of being an actor is that you get to learn so much about history, so much more than I ever learned in school, just by telling these stories, and to really try and get inside of them and inhabit them really makes you understand the stakes and the momentous nature of what took place. I mean, Jackson to me is a heroic figure, which is not, I suppose, something I'm asked to do very often. So yeah, I appreciated the opportunity to play a hero. Yeah.
What about you, Pops?
Yeah. Don't all jump at the chance to talk.
I read the script. I met with Jamie, or spoke with Jamie. I think we met on Zoom. You look for things, material, scripts that you connect with emotionally or intellectually, or something that, and this was an amazing story that you think you know something about, and you find out you don't know so much about the intricacies of this. There we go, got it. Intricacies.
It takes a Brit.
I just ate a hamburger, and I said, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well,
Richard struggled with disenfranchisement.
That's right, earlier. Yeah, I wish we could. Do we have a clip of that? It was just a beautiful script, and you just want to be a part of a story that's this well told. It's complicated. The characters are complex. There's a lot going on. I knew some of the people that were already involved, and there was no hesitation whatsoever.
It was also the first time in history that there had been a criminal case brought after a war had finished. And so just as an historical event, it was the seminal court case of the 20th century in which evil is addressed in a forensically detailed legal argument, and the perpetrators' justice was served.
You've done such a great work through your career as a screenwriter, but what is it like actually writing something on this scale? Because you have to obviously take in all this information and then try to produce it or spit it out again in a entertaining way through a movie.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what that experience was like.
I mean, some of the films I grew up with that I loved are sort of historical thrillers like JFK or Apollo 13 or Glory. And they all are about very serious subjects, but they're all also sort of great big screen entertaining films that take you on an emotional journey. And so I felt like for this, it was really important to tell the story in as exciting a way and make a film that's not just lecturing at you for 2 hours or making you feel bad for 2 hours, to take you, sort of on this incredible, trip with these incredible people who really did do this thing. Just did a ton of research. Researched this thing to in an inch of its life. One of the things we were very serious about from the get-go is, there's footage in the movie that was actually shown during the trial, that we used the real footage that was shown during the trial. We didn't recreate anything or reproduce anything. All of the amazing sort of cross-examinations and opening statements, that's all real stuff that was used, that actually happened on the trial. And one of the benefits of telling the story is the trial itself was built to be sort of the first media trial. The Allies wanted this to be recorded and to be remembered. The courtroom itself had been bombed out during, the raids in Nuremberg, and so it was rebuilt. And they built camera emplacements in there and microphones and built lights in there so that all of this could be recorded. So we had all of that to draw upon, which was incredibly helpful to the entire affair.
I'm so curious because the movie, I think it's 220, 225. I forget the runtime.
It's around there, yeah, 220.
So how did it come together in the editing room in ways maybe you didn't expect? Because did you have a lot of extra, like a lot of footage? Was it tough to get it to this runtime?
No, I love a movie that moves. Pace, I think, is a really important thing. And I also think that anytime you're over, I'm going to probably regret saying this, but anytime you're over 2 hours, you got to earn every single minute of it. And so Tom Eagles, who's an incredible editor who I worked with, who was nominated for Jojo Rabbit. And one of the reasons I hired him too is he has a wonderfully light touch and a comedic touch. It's not just serious, 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 serious. We talked all the time about making sure that we were juggling all of the different stories, that they were intersecting at the right time, and that you never felt that it was ponderous. So that was, and that does mean, you have to, eliminate, kill your darlings, as they say. You do have to take stuff out that you love. But, in the end, telling this story in the best way possible and in a way that affects people in the most emotional way possible is the most important thing. All the rest can go if you needed to.
So I'm curious, as I said earlier, not to keep on complimenting you guys, but I really am.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I'm a really big fan of all three of the way you guys work. And when you're taking on a role of like this, where the responsibility of portraying real people, real events, what is it like in those weeks leading up to that first day of filming for each of you in terms of the way you prepare for something like this? And is it different than when you're playing a different sort of role?
Well, the great advantage that we have is YouTube, that the entire trial is accessible. So you could see the person that you were playing in the real time of the trial, and that was an extraordinary opportunity and gift to be able to impersonate those people.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize this, but Robert Jackson actually has a website.
Yeah.
That documents all of his, achievements, and there's lots of literature to read, including the book, which this is loosely based on, The Nazi and the Psychiatrist. Yeah, you just do a lot of reading, but I didn't really try to model it so much. I wasn't doing an impersonation of Robert Jackson.
We talked about that.
Yeah. Nobody really would know what that was, so I had some latitude there to get up to my typical tomfoolery.
The character that I played wrote a book as well, so I had that to draw on. But in the end, it's the scenes on the page that you play, and you're playing with the other actors and Rami and all these great actors and Russell, obviously. So you make adjustments that Jamie would like, and that gives him options in the edit. So you do all that research, and it goes in and it comes out in sometimes unexpected ways, all beneficial, but it isn't like again, it's not a history lesson, it's a thriller. The way it was written and hopefully the way we executed it, it's an emotional undertaking. So that's the way you play it. I mean, you play it as appropriately as each scene is written.
We've been talking about very serious subject matter, and obviously it's incredibly important. But now I want to throw a bit of levity into this. And it's a question.
Please.
It's a question for Michael. When I was researching everyone coming in, I like to prepare and learn. I learned that you recently played Bill Parcells in Mr. Irrelevant, and I'm like,
Damn.
wait, what?
Yeah.
So how the F? I mean, for people that don't realize, Bill Parcells is a very famous NFL coach. Oh, the hat's on, right? What is it? What was that like? And how did you get ready?
It was weird, man. I ain't nothing like Bill Parcells. That was a reach. But I love the director, Jonathan Levine. We'd worked together on The Night Before and 9 Perfect Strangers. And he asked me about it. I said, man, I really don't think I'm your guy. I'm not even really much of a football fan. But he talked me into it, and then again, it starts off very academic, it's just like there's a huge book on Parcells. I got the book, I read it, I watched countless interviews with him.
Did you try to do his voice, or
well, his voice is really elusive because he's like, he's a Jersey guy, but every once in a while he sounds like he's from the South. It like goes back and forth between. It's really crazy. But yeah, I got a wig. I got some augmentation, some sort. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah, but that came out of the clear blue sky. I was not expecting that. But hell, I played Elvis. I might as well play Bill Parcells. I'm like Lon Chaney, It's just gonna.
Man with thousands.
Yeah.
I actually have individual questions for all of you, but I've been told that you need to absolutely leave here by 2:30, and so I'm going to stop because I've been given that. Would have liked. I know what you're doing with John Hamm, the celebrity. It's called Untitled Celebrity Pass movie.
Yeah,
it sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, Richard, you're doing the new Leica movie, Wildwood. Just want to throw that out there. Obviously, you're producing Scream 7.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Kevin Williamson actually directing.
Absolutely, finally.
Yeah, like there's again, I have a lot I would have liked to have talked about. I'm just gonna say congrats on this movie, and I really, really say I'm glad you guys made this. Really important stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys
have
a fantastic TIFF.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.